Hi there, I'm Rajeshwari Ramani, welcoming you to another Asian Agribus podcast. Climate change has impacted not only human activities but also in the livestock sector, affecting production outputs. My colleague Meliana talks with Ageng Herianto, Assistant FAO Representative in Indonesia, about the impact of climate change on animal protein production and FAO's work on climate change.
Good morning, Pak Ageng. It's nice to have you in this podcast.
So good morning, Mbak Meliana. I'm pleased to be in your podcast. This is an interesting event for both of us.
Okay, Pak Ageng, why don't we start this podcast with a short introduction of yourself and your company or your organization?
Okay, so I'm Ageng Herianto. I'm the assistant for FAO Representative in Indonesia, uh, focusing on programming issue. So I've been working for FAO Indonesia for about 12 years, responsible for uh, every program, FAO program implementing in Indonesia.
Thanks, Pak Ageng. Our topic today is the impact of climate change on animal protein production. And as we know that Food and Agriculture Organization has been concerned and often discussed about it. So can you explain, Pak Ageng, what is the organization work on climate change?
Yeah, thank you. The climate change is really a kind of prominent issue across the world because has impacted or has been impacting a lot to any human activity, especially on the agriculture sector. So without kind of uh, collective action and also the proper program to respond to climate change, million people will be at risk to suffering from hunger and also poverty. This is really challenging. So one of the our effort is we have to let's say have a close collaboration with all multi-stakeholder to respond adequately all the climate change issue in agriculture sector, because this is talking about the food for all. So our FAO program is first is about the developing enabling environment. So this is put in policy and also in practice at community level, because with the proper policy, so it means that this is a good approach to support the community level in response the climate change. The second one, FAO has been developing the climate change impact model. This is both from hydrological aspect as well as socio-economic impacts. Since 2010, we are promoting the climate smart technology, both for agriculture as well as for the livestock. So the recent publication available from FAO is published in 2021. Is about the climate smart livestock. This is very interesting and practical guidance to all the people who are interested in managing the livestock properly. The next one is about the natural resource management. This is not only the animal, but also how we have to cope, or we have to define the coping strategy in response to the soil fertility issue, the water scarcity issue, and many things related with those kind of the resource, natural resource that's important to the agriculture and livestock sector. The next one is about the weather and climate forecasting. We work with several member countries in establishing the early warning system. So how we can prepare and strengthening the member countries in response to the climate change, and then also through the enabling policy, but also from the technology point of view with the climate forecasting. We have been developing the big data on the early warning system globally. And the last but not least is also disaster risk management capability of the member countries, since the climate change will will be impacting, for example, the coastal area with the seawater intrusion and so on, so will devastating the coastal community. This is some example of FAO activities globally, but also for Indonesia.
How will climate change affect animal protein production? And what are the current conditions and forecasts for climate change, Pak Ageng? Please give some examples.
Impact of the climate change to the livestock and agriculture. The small-scale farmers and also livestock keepers. This is most vulnerable people against the climate change issue. Yeah, especially as I mentioned at the beginning, also water scarcity, about the drought. This is also how we proceed with the agriculture sector without sufficient water to the plant as well as to the animal. And also the climate change will bring the serious impact on the animal health situation. So it means that if we have no proper action plan to respond the climate change, in the future, the production of the livestock will decline because there is no sufficient water, no animal feed, and so on. So this is the issue. And about the also about the protein sources from the aquatic or fish. This is due to the rising temperature of the sea. The fish stocking globally will potentially decline by 40%. So it means that we have to have a response by promoting aquaculture. But also the aquaculture has the impact on the feed issue. This is a kind of the vicious cycle. So how the climate change will impact to the agriculture as well as the livestock, fisheries, forestry. This is a kind of the issue on the climate change at global level, especially to GHG, the agriculture methane emission and so on will bring the negative impact to our environment to our human life. This is the issue about the how we have to put the proper effort to respond the climate change adequately.
Many impacts of climate change on animal protein production. So,
Yeah,
how,
sure.
what should we do to the protect animals, Pak Ageng?
Okay. So as I informed before, FAO already published the technical guideline uh, to respond the climate change, especially to the animal production, through the climate smart livestock. But I want to say that the first is about the direct impact, the climate change to the animal production side. With the drought and also the extreme weather, about the flood and also heat stress, will impact the animal directly, because they need a kind of the environment, micro environment that make them can, let's say, survive in those kind of the issue on the head stress and so on. Yeah, this is how we should have a kind of the proper solution through the climate smart livestock. Uh, so how about the animal feed, about the animal or livestock farming system, about the animal health. So this is a kind of the systemic approach that how we can promote the climate smart livestock in response, in let's say give the proper and adequate information to the small scale farmers as well as the livestock keepers. Indirect impact of the climate change to the livestock is about the animal diseases. If, let's say, for example, nowadays, because of the climate change, the issue, the new diseases and zoonotic diseases is becoming more need our attention to how we can, let's say, give the proper response to minimize the animal health situation globally.
In some cases, increases in the presence of toxin in feed raw materials have been linked to climate change. So do you think this is true, Pak Ageng? And
This
why?
is this is very interesting issue and important issue, yeah, because for raising the livestock, of course, the animal feed is a key. So that's why this is the feed raw material is becoming, I mean, more important than before. However, given the also the statistic and also the research activity are still growing, it means that we so far, at least FAO has no I mean solid data and information on the toxin of the feed, animal feed. So this is what we can promoting or we can encouraging. So how the stakeholder from the research body and research institution have have to have a kind of close collaboration with other parties to give the solid and comprehensive result on the toxicity of the feed animal.
As you said that FAO is promoting climate smart technology.
Yeah.
Can you explain more detail? Will this ensure cost efficiency?
Yeah. Okay. As I mentioned that FAO since 2010 promoting climate smart agriculture, including climate smart livestock. The climate smart livestock is talking about the livestock productivity. So how we can use the available resources in a more efficient way. But the climate smart livestock, this is also talking about the genetic selection, breeding management, and also animal health services, as well as the how to use the natural resources in efficient manner. As also important issue is about the waste reduction. This is the component of the climate smart livestock. How we can increase the livestock productivity without jeopardizing the environment in a serious manner. Yeah. So there are two issues here is how to adopt, but also how to adapt the solution for the climate smart livestock. Yeah, as I mentioned before, the adoption is about the how to introduce new technology of the livestock raising technology. Yeah, one of the issue is animal health services. So how we can ensure that the animal health services in various countries have sufficient capability in response to the new emerging diseases in animal sector or livestock sector. This is the issue that the animal health usually has no sufficient support from the country because usually they focusing on the production but not in the animal health issue. So that's why how to make a balance the animal health production and animal health issue. Yeah, about the adaptation, so how we can minimizing the head stress. So it means that we should have technology, micro climate technology to make the livestock or animal will adapt to the extreme weather. But the issue is maybe this is what you call the small scale farmers or small scale livestock keepers has no sufficient resources to adopt this kind of technology. So the government policy and government resources should be properly allocated to respond to the climate change issue in a animal and livestock sector. So far, of course, the uh, technology adoption need a kind of the change of the behavior of the livestock keepers. We have to have a kind of the comparative advantage of uh, the current technology with the new technology. Uh, by put some investment to those kind of the animal sector production and as well as the animal health issue. I believe that from the experience in Indonesia, for example, uh, this is the costs could be compensated adequately or sufficiently by the improvement of the production. So means that, for example, with the surveillance technology, proper surveillance technology, and so on. So the survival rate of the animal and also, for example, poultry will increase significantly. That will compensate the cost to adopt the new technology. I think that the technology still with support the proper policy from the government, the small scale is still have a chance to adopt the technology which bring impact to their income significantly.
Pak Ageng, what are your short-term and long-term outlooks about how the animal protein industries will fare against climate change?
Yeah, as we know that recently UN is promoting about the agri food system that's need a kind of the healthy diet to the people. This is including the animal protein intakes. So the animal production is becoming important in the future to fulfill the protein demand to all the people across the globe. So that's why if let's say we disseminating the climate smart livestock to the small scale livestock keeper with the proper technology introduced to them, and then how we can, let's say, have a kind of the proper policy, government policy, to encourage the small scale livestock keepers adopting this technology. I have some optimistic uh, about the short-term and long-term impact of the climate smart livestock technology in improving the animal production side. This is the proper technology will not only bring the animal health production, but also will make significant contribution to reduce the emission, the carbon, what they call the gas, green gas house emission, yeah, to make the healthy environment across the globe. So now the key is how first is the enabling environment for the policy and also the financial support to the animal production sector. The second one is about the proper technology. Uh, uh, how to disseminate and how to encourage and promoting proper technology to be adopted by small-scale livestock keeper. As I said, that will bring the income, a better income to the small-scale livestock keepers. The third one is about the research support, how to inventing new technology to make more cost efficient. This is a really challenging, but I think if we work together, we can, let's say, have the sufficient effort to respond to the climate change issue. The network, communication, and also I believe that digital technology will bring the positive impacts to the animal health and animal production sector.
Okay, thanks a lot for sharing your insight and experience, Pak Ageng.
It's my pleasure, and I hope that we, let's say, one day we can explore more about the what kind of the proper technology, climate smart technology, to be disseminated to the small scale livestock keeper, who are the most vulnerable group in what you call against the climate change issue.
I hope this podcast has given you some valuable points on handling climate change in terms of livestock production. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel on Spotify, Apple Music, or wherever you get your podcast from. For more news about the Asian animal protein industries, please visit www.asian-agribiz.com. Thank you for listening. This is Rush, signing off for Asian Agribiz.